History is filled with epic military blunders. Napoleon invading Russia, Hitler invading Russia, pretty much anyone invading Russia, really. But today, we ask a bold, dangerous, laughably ridiculous question. What if someone tried to invade Kenya? Short answer, don't. Long answer, let's dive in. Kenya's Defense Forces, KDF, are not your run-of-the-mill neighborhood patrol. These folks are rocking modern equipment like T-72 tanks, Humvees, F-5 Tiger jets, and artillery that'll make your ears ring in 3 time zones. Also, drones. You know, the kind that sees you before you even decide to do something suspicious. Good luck sneaking in. You think you're gonna pull up with your little inflatable boat? Ha ha ha. No, not here. Not now, and definitely not in Kenya. This ain't the UK. The KDF already has your GPS coordinates, tea is brewing, and they're about to ruin your entire invasion plan before lunch. With around 24,000 active personnel and a hefty reserve force, Kenya's military isn't massive by global standards. But here's the twist. They're well-trained, highly motivated, and know every inch of their turf. Kenyan troops receive rigorous training both domestically and abroad. From jungle warfare to urban combat, these soldiers are taught to adapt to any scenario, terrain, or poor decision an invader might make. And let's not forget the special forces. These elite units are the kind of professionals who don't just walk into a room, they own it. Plus, Kenyan forces regularly train with foreign allies, US Marines, British SAS, you name it. These joint exercises aren't for show, they sharpen the KDF's tactical edge. These soldiers aren't just trained to fight, they're trained to win and look cool doing it. Ever seen a Kenyan Marine disarm a threat, reload, and pose like it's a Vogue shoot? Now you have. Try invading a country with dense rainforests, scorching deserts, mountain ranges, swamps, and a 536-kilometer coastline that's basically a tourist trap full of camouflaged soldiers. Seriously, Kenya has the kind of terrain that says, "Go ahead, try me," while casually sipping coconut water. You want to come from the east? Welcome to the Indian Ocean, where your ships are sitting ducks for coastal artillery and naval patrols. Try the north? That's semi-arid, blistering hot, and oh yeah, patrolled by guys who know the land better than Google Maps. From the west? You'll have to cross the hills of western Kenya, the thick Kakamega forest, and more elevation changes than a roller coaster built by a caffeinated engineer. And don't even think about trying Mount Kenya. Not only is it freezing and treacherous, but it's basically a natural watchtower for any smart sniper with a sense of humor. Trying to bring heavy equipment through this place is like dragging a sofa through an obstacle course designed by sadistic geographers. Plus, every part of Kenya has strategic choke points, mountain passes that can be ambushed, valleys with perfect artillery coverage, and roads that vanish in the rain like your ex's promises. Add in wildlife that doesn't care about your global politics.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Rhinos, aggressive. Elephants, unpredictable. Hippos, statistically more dangerous than most invading armies. And baboons? They'll steal your rations and your pride. Kenya's geography is the real MVP here. Nature itself will slap you with a go home before the army even gets involved. Kenya's military isn't just tough, it's seasoned. These folks have seen action. From fighting Al-Shabaab terrorists in Somalia to leading peacekeeping missions in South Sudan and the DRC, Kenya has turned battlefield experience into an art form. The KDF has been part of AMISOM, UN missions, and regional coalitions. This means their troops know how to operate under pressure, in complex environments, and as part of multinational operations. They're not just defending Kenya, they've defended others too. And let's not forget the friends list. Kenya has strong military partnerships with the US, UK, and other NATO allies. That's right, try invading Kenya, and suddenly you're not just fighting Kenyans. You're fighting Kenyans and their very muscular friends with GPS-guided presence. Plus, Kenya has a working relationship with Israel on counterterrorism and intelligence, so if you're trying to sneak in, there's probably a satellite already watching you fail. Here's the thing, Kenyans don't back down, ever. The spirit of Harambee, pulling together, isn't just a slogan, it's a way of life. From the guy selling roasted maize on the street to the elite forces in uniform, everyone becomes part of the resistance when Kenya is threatened. These are the same people who laugh in the face of power blackouts and potholes the size of swimming pools. If they can survive Nairobi traffic, they can survive anything. try to invade, and you'll be met with resistance, memes, and possibly a cooking pot flying at your head. Kenyan morale is bulletproof. Whether it's cheering for Eliud Kipchoge or roasting politicians on Twitter, there's a powerful sense of national pride that cannot be broken. They don't wait for instructions, they rally. Even the grandmas will be out there hiding landmines in flower beds if things get serious, and don't expect psychological warfare to work either. You might drop leaflets, Kenyans will fold them into paper planes and fly them back with messages like, "This isn't your safari, champ." Your tank might make it past the border. But have you ever been shouted at in Kiswahili by a furious Boda Boda rider? That's psychological warfare right there. Let's say you're still considering it. Bold. But let's break down the real costs, shall we? First, you're not just invading a country. You're entering the boss level of logistics. Kenya's terrain will eat your supply lines alive. You'll need fuel convoys with enough petrol to power half of Europe, food shipments that can handle everything from desert heat to highland rains, and mosquito nets rated for creatures that laugh at DEET. Oh, and good luck navigating. Google Maps might show you a highway, but surprise! It's actually a goat trail. Your tanks will get stuck behind Boda Bodas dodging potholes like they're playing Mario Kart. And don't even get started on Nairobi traffic. You'll spend more time waiting in gridlock than engaging in combat. Imagine your elite strike force arriving late to the battlefield because of a zebra crossing protest. Iconic. Communications? Spotty. Morale? Crumbling. And then there's the WhatsApp messages from home asking why your army is trending on Twitter for losing a hill to a group of determined farmers armed with slingshots and national pride. Also, supply drops by air? Good luck with that. Kenyan air defense has been practicing. One moment you're delivering reinforcements, the next you're starring in a YouTube clip titled, "When GPS Goes Wrong." And if you think you can just set up base and relax, think again. That quiet village you parked in, it's now an unofficial battleground. And the local women have already stolen your rations, outwitted your guards, and replaced your flag with a kikoi. Bottom line, invading Kenya isn't just expensive, it's the kind of logistical disaster that makes generals retire early and historians laugh out loud. Kenya is going high-tech, baby. Night vision, UAVs, digital command systems. And yes, there's probably a guy in Nairobi right now testing a cyber defense system while simultaneously live streaming and roasting your invasion attempt on TikTok. Kenya doesn't have high-tech stuff. Okay, tell that to the satellite tracking your troop movements in 4K. Kenya isn't just a country, it's a vibe. 40+ ethnic groups, one identity, unbreakable. Communities pull together fast. Everyone knows someone who knows someone in the army. Every invader thinks, it'll be easy, right before they meet a Maasai warrior who hasn't blinked since 2004. Fun fact, Kenya has a military camel unit. Camels. They patrol deserts with guns. Imagine being taken out by a tactical camel. That's not a war story, that's a meme, a legendary one. So, to all would-be invaders out there, Kenya is not your playground. It's a fortress, a family, and a fighter. Invading Kenya? That's not just dumb, its main character loses in the first 10 minutes dumb. Stay home. Watch the wildebeests on TV. Sip some tea. And remember, you don't mess with Kenya. Period.